What up, Sidewalk Surfers? Skater D here, and before we drop in, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who has commented and wished me a speedy recovery. Over the last few years, there's been so many shifts and changes in the social networking world that it seems like we just have so little control over how we interact. I've seen entire communities just disappear overnight, and it makes the world seem that much lonelier when you see how impermanent it all is. I feel like it sends the message that I'm doing something right. You get to see miraculous things when you put yourself out there and dare to create something or be vulnerable enough to actually connect with other people rather than just sell them an image or count them as a follower just so you can reach some higher tier of influence. It's like we've got something better than that here. This isn't just how we communicate and keep in touch. It's how we come together to contribute to each other's lives and try to build a better world and a better way of life. I feel like that's what skateboarding has given me. And all of this internet stuff is just an extension of that world into a virtual space that brings us all together in our mutual love for this activity. Some of you, I've been watching and interacting with your videos for years, and it's great to feel like we're all here for the same reason. Skateboarding and all of its unique forms and functions of self-expression, individuality, and diversity has led to a beautiful symphony that is ever-changing as each person contributes their part. I'm hyped to see what's next. And on that note, my topic this week feeds almost directly into what I've been doing to fix my back problems because it involves exercise, discipline, and self-analysis. One of the things that's bothering me lately is my style. Namely, I hate how I look when I skate. I watch videos of surf skaters and I see these low, exaggerated poses and these deep sweeping motions, and it looks really cool. It looks like it must feel incredible, and I want that. But then I go out in the street to try it, and there's a disconnect when I see what I actually look like. In my head, I'm totally in the flow. I feel like I'm doing these deep, sweeping moves to maximize the amount of energy I'm putting into my pump carving. But then I play back what the camera picked up, and it just looks like I have these tiny T-Rex arms that are just flapping back and forth on my potato body while my legs sort of wiggle a bit. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? Am I not bending to compress enough? Clearly I'm not. Functionally speaking, do I really need to compress that much when, wiggling seems to work just fine at getting me going? Is all that extra work just for show, or can it radically change my surf skating? Like, are these people exaggerating their movements to really show what you do when you pump carve? Or is it that extra work is actually going to improve my flexibility and mobility? In my last video, I said I'm making some changes to try and fix my back problems. And one of those changes has been cutting carbs and sugar out of my diet. I've been doing it since December, and I'm happy to say that I've managed to shed about 20 pounds, which has resulted in a much better feeling of health overall. I'm not saying that you need to lose weight to feel better, but for me personally, I'm overweight, and that has contributed to sleep apnea and just low energy, and I've been struggling a lot. But since losing some weight, now I'm sleeping better. I have more energy throughout the day. More importantly, I'm not punishing my skeletal system by forcing it to lug around all this extra bulk, and that makes a huge difference. Ideally, I do have more to go, but I'm in no real hurry. I'm just trying to be a little more conscious of what I eat and stop depending on food to boost my mood whenever I'm just feeling depressed or anxious. Beyond that is doing more physical activity, which is hard to do when A, you hate the gym, and B, the weather forecast is constantly like,
it's going to be cold, it's going to be gray, and it's going to last you for the rest of your life.
So that's crap. Fortunately, stretching and yoga have been a huge help in reducing the amount of pain that I experience while regaining my flexibility and mobility. I used to do a lot of yoga, and it was always as rewarding and healing for the mind as much as it was for the body. But I just kind of let that go in the last few years, and now here I am trying to get it back. I just find it kind of funny. I was watching a surf documentary a few months ago about, it was legendary surfer Jerry Lopez, and how he brought yoga into the surfing world back in the late 60s. I'm sure he wasn't the only one, but he talked about how people kind of thought he was crazy and, sort of laughed at the idea. But today, yoga is everywhere, and you see surfers doing it to not only get into meditation, to put themselves in a more relaxed feeling when they're surfing, but it helps them physically. Once they saw how not only did it increase their well-being, but it also improved their surfing, somehow or another, we all find our way back to this point, regardless of whatever path we're on. If you're not doing yoga, if you're not stretching, I highly recommend it. Look up a few videos on YouTube, even pick up maybe a book. The benefits are there. Everything from an improved mental state to improved skating and surfing, what have you. It reminds me of something that Adventures in Skateboarding Over 40 Plus said that really struck with me. He commented that his doctor told him, "You're a shark now." And he was like, okay, what does that mean? And basically, sharks got to keep moving if they don't want to suffocate. As far as I know, sharks don't really sleep. They just sort of go into a low energy mode. But they keep moving, they keep traveling in order to keep the oxygen fresh water moving across their gills. If they don't move that, they suffocate. And with us, if we don't move, we lose our mobility, we lose our fitness, and that leads to losing years off of our lives. So the bottom line is move it or lose it. It really just is that simple. Getting back to the point of self-analysis, I shot this high-speed footage so that I could slow it down to half speed and look at what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I feel like it does the job of showing how I move my body when I compress and release in a pump carve, going from rail to rail. And it's pretty ugly. At least to me it is. But again, I think I'm just not bending and compressing enough to put the kind of energy into the pumps that I see other people doing. And it looks weird in my head. I feel like I'm doing it right. I'm doing it good enough. But then I look at the playback and it's not. So I could put a lot more potential energy into my compression stage by flexing and getting low enough to really drive the board into the ground and release that kinetic energy. So that's something I need to work on. And, maybe it's because of these recent back issues that are keeping me from getting low enough to really send it when I pump carve. But I've looked at past footage and it's pretty similar. It seems like I have a lot of bad habits that I need to unlearn if I ever hope to get better results. Again, just flapping arms and wiggling. Instead of smooth flowing motion. So I know where I need to start focusing my efforts. I just need to get the time to do it. Last but not least, I went ahead and I got some cones to practice doing infinity turns. And I downloaded a couple of different lesson plans to read up on cone training.
The name is Conehead. Cone. We come from France.
Hopefully I can get a better understanding of how to lay them out and what to do when training, and that'll improve my turning, my carving abilities. That's about it. I mean, that's all to come. I'm going to highlight that all in future videos, and hopefully hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's what I need to get to the level I feel like I need to get to. Anyway, that's it for me. What do you think? Am I being too critical, or is my style really not good? Are all those extra moves superfluous? Am I focusing too much on surf training? Or can that actually benefit my skating and how I look when I'm doing it? As they say, the style and ease, or steez. I feel like probably a lot of that is just over the top, but at the same time, I mean, it couldn't hurt either. So let me know in the comments. As always, like and subscribe for more. Take it easy, and I will see you in the next video.